Lots of activity happening inside Lumen Field, where the Seahawks will host the LA Rams tomorrow for Thursday night football. It's a short prep week for the Hawks, but they had a major boost with that win over the 49ers on Sunday. Here to break it all down with me is our friend Terry Hollimon.
It's never easy to win on the road, but to do it against your rivals, after two big losses, no doubt, has to feel pretty sweet. So, Terry, is this the change in momentum we needed?
Well, first and foremost, yes, it is great to beat your rival. It doesn't matter if it's on the road, if it's at home, in the backyard, in the schoolyard parking lot.
Yeah.
Anywhere we could beat the 49ers, I'm down for it. Secondly, I think it is a momentum builder for these Seahawks. After two tough losses, to come back with a big win like this, overcome some adversities, fix some of the challenges that this team has been facing over this short season and get those ironed out and wrinkled out. I think it's a great momentum builder. And of course, winning begets winning. You start winning and guys start having to, liking that feeling and, building on that. I think it is definitely a momentum builder for these guys.
Fingers crossed for that. Fingers crossed. You mentioned the challenges. What are some of the challenges we faced?
Well, first of all, they had some issues defensively. They really couldn't stop anybody. And it was a situation where the Seahawks were facing teams and they knew they were going to have to score a lot of points to outscore the other team's offense because the defense wasn't doing a very good job stopping people. So some of those little things got corrected during the last game versus the 49ers. It did look rough for a little while in the first half for those Seahawks. Defense was kind of struggling a little bit. It had me nervous and I almost, turned the TV off for a couple of minutes, but I didn't. I stayed true. I'm a strong 12, and they're getting those things worked out.
That's good. Because you did notice there was a change this week. What do you think changed with the defense?
Well, there were some personnel changes. I know there was a couple of defensive backs, at least one for sure, that got switched out. They brought in a guy that a lot of people in Seattle will recognize, Sidney Jones, who was a defensive back at the University of Washington. They brought him in and kind of shored up some things in that defensive secondary. And, of course, some of the scheme things that they were having problems with. The Seahawks have been going on a base defense, basically the entire season. And now they've switched up and they've gone to what's called a dime defense. It's when they bring in an extra defensive back instead of 4 or 5. They now brought in 6, and that kind of helped them shore up things defensively.
Interesting. That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. So Terry, you know that my husband is a diehard 49er fan. I'm a Hawks fan. I almost had to leave the room at the beginning of the game because of the gloating. It was too much. But then Russ turns it around at halftime, as he does. Does he just play better coming from behind? Is that just kind of what motivates him?
Well, he does a great job of playing from behind. You think of what he's done in his career here in Seattle. He's had like 34 game-winning drives. Like at the end of the game, he's able to take this team and drive down the field, and it's miraculous. And like I've always said, as long as Russell Wilson is at the helm and he's of your team, you have an opportunity to win. That being said, I think he does have a thing for coming back and playing well in the second half of games, making adjustments. More so than that, I think he's just so calm, cool, collected, and focused when other people are falling apart. I think that's what separates him from the pack. And you have somebody like that leading you, somebody that's determined, dedicated, that doesn't get is shaken. I think it's a good thing.
He's a gift. He is a gift.
Really is.
LA, this week. They got a better record than us. What do we have to do to make sure we win this game?
Well, we kind of alluded to it earlier. It is the momentum thing that we have going on right now. Keep building on what happened this past week, building on your successes, building on your victories. Also learn from your mistakes. We're going to have to go in there. They're going to move the ball. They're going to have some defensive stops. Let's figure out how we can make those adjustments on the fly and just maintain focus. The Rams are a very good team, very talented in a lot of positions. We're just going to have to maintain focus, make adjustments on the fly, and continue to build on what we did last week.
Let's keep it going.
Yes, ma'am.
Thanks again to Terry for that inside look.